What's going on, guys? It's Inexperience Points. I am one of the hosts, the Zorby.
I'm Zach.
What's up? I'm Savvy. Thanks for joining us.
Yo, and we're about to get into some topics today. Actually, primarily one we were just discussing before we started this thing was our experiences on the internet before the internet became like its whole thing. Before YouTube and everything like that.
Before social media,
Yeah.
before MySpace became like music MySpace.
Music MySpace. Before 2007, before YouTube was a thing.
I'm so mad that I got MySpace at the end of the era. Like right when it was just going out, I was like, oh yeah, I finally got a MySpace. And was it 2009? I don't even know. I don't even know when it really went out.
I can't remember specifically. I mean, because it never went away. It still is a thing today. You can go to myspace.com, but it's just totally different from what it was.
Maybe it was like for our era in a way. Like now that we've moved on, it has moved on.
It was special.
Yeah.
But
It's more like that kind of like Vine was.
Yeah, it had very
Before.
Vine to TikTok energy,
Yeah.
MySpace
What was the one in
was
between?
Wait, which? Between those two? Wasn't it Musically?
Yes. It was Musical.ly.
I never got on a
Musically-
Musically. I was adamant to not do it.
It was TikTok. They
Yeah.
rebranded it.
Oh,
It's
okay,
the
that
same
makes
app,
sense. That makes sense.
essentially.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they just called it TikTok because I didn't like how there's like I think it was like a random period in the middle of Musically or something, whatever.
Yeah, it was between the two L's, I think. Music or the
That looked sketch to me. Don't know why. It's like, this app's going to steal my information. Joke's on me, I gave them my information.
There you go. Yeah.
You-
Allow my location data to be transferred to your servers? Yes, please.
You want me to upload all of like my videos to your servers that I can use? Take them.
Yeah, you want to post on my behalf on my other social media? Go for it. It's
Yo.
easier for me to do.
You got to read the terms and conditions. If you don't read the terms and conditions, you probably sold your soul or sold something of the sort.
We're not doing that.
I remember like my soul is, I don't know, somewhere in limbo right now with the amount of things I've sold it to apparently.
Yeah, I guess we'll never really know, right?
No, I guess I'll find out if I make it anywhere outside of this earthly
You have to spend
existence.
10% of eternity in Facebook hell. The other 5%.
I've actually read some of the updates for Apple when it comes to like the terms and conditions and da. I'm like, okay, they're not bad. Some games, I'm like, oh, okay. The main thing is not using offensive language, all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
there have been a few. It's just like, so if this happens, we're gonna need the information to your profile, everything connected to it. So if you have certain things connected to your this thing here, then if it's connected to your Instagram, we need to know that. And I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think people just don't understand how stuff works on the back end too. I don't think when you like say link your TikTok with your Twitter, you're not telling TikTok to log into your Twitter and post it for you. They work with an API that says, hey, take this data, take this post it here, link it there, and then, but they don't collect it from another platform. I don't think they can.
Yeah.
They can do that. People get scared.
But there's other
Weird
stuff that you see in the terms and conditions if you read them, and it's really sketch. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
It's just open to interpretation, but
Yeah.
There was a moment, I think it was like, for me, it was 2014 when I read like the Snapchat terms and conditions. I really had nothing going on in my life. And like, it was always obvious, but I kind of like just read into it a little more about like how like they keep like your photos and stuff on their servers. And there also at that time was a thing about like how like, hey, like this app that should only like put your photo for 24 hours is like keeping it. And I was like, I don't like that. So I just got rid of my Snapchat because I was like, if you're only supposed to have it for a certain amount of time, why are you keeping it? And then I think it was a little while later, they finally rolled out like the archive and like memories and stuff. And that actually makes sense more now. I'm like, oh, you're collecting my data, not to be evil. You might be. But like you're collecting it so I can come back a year later and remember the dumb post that I did for 24 hours.
I just don't get We're gonna get into social media conversation right now, but I don't understand Snapchat. I think I was too old when Snapchat was a thing. I wasn't old, but
It's just beyond you.
You don't really see the
my
point.
brain could not comprehend the necessity that Snapchat, like, because they didn't provide anything new or crazy or different. It was just
They did and they didn't. Like, I have Snapchat now because one of like my mom friends like only messages me on that.
Mom friends?
Yeah, I'm not a mom, but my friend who is a mom strictly wants to build our friendship on Snapchat.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, if that's what gives her life away from her kids, I'll happy to be a part of it. I'll be happy to be a part of it.
it's very nice of you. I'd be like, look, if you're not gonna text me, just don't talk to me.
I'm trying to build a
Even
relationship.
then, don't talk to me.
Huh.
I honestly don't open her snaps for like 3 or 4 days, and it'll just be like a bunch of things, like a whole.
You want to go
archive.
out?
I'm
You're
like,
oh, snap.
man, she's not even in Vegas, which makes it more difficult.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
what was
that's
I?
rough.
I know. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like I remember like what it offered me was like, oh, this is cool. Like I'm gonna post something, and you guys have to see it, or it's gone forever. Then I realized, like, once again, I don't have an internet presence, especially at that time. So it was like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I just like if you're not sending nudes to someone, like, what are you doing on Snapchat? Like, you're looking at their news articles? Yeah, because you're definitely getting your news from Snapchat.
If you tell me you saw your news on Snapchat, I'm immediately going to write you off as crazy.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Michael. Is this the bowl of noodles again all over? Is this bed noodles all over again?
He's like,
No,
that's my
no,
favorite place to get news, guys.
No, I agree. I mean, well, honestly, for someone who like gets some of the news from Twitter, then I mean, it's not far off. But
A little more reputable.
Yeah, I think depending on who's been talking about it. But
yeah, but I mean, for Snapchat, when they came out with all like the subscribe to this and the news here and all this kind of stuff and whatnot, and how you allow Snapchat to track other apps and other stuff that you do, and that will bring up more stuff for you to see in that explore whatever thing. I'm like, it's clever, but it takes away from what Snapchat was, because it brought a different element, and then once other apps like got into it, it was just
Yeah.
it was just another app that you can message people on, because there are other apps that you can message people on and do all like kinds of stuff, so it was just had its own way of doing it.
Something I'm sorry, it's probably been a thing for a while, but I did think it's odd once I got back on Snapchat that your Bitmoji could show you like where you were.
That
is creepy.
That is 100% the reason I uninstalled Snapchat. I only had it installed because I talked to one like you were saying, with one person, and they would send me pictures of like just cars they'd see on the street and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, you see my Snapchat?" When I talk to them, and they'd be like, "I was like, no, let me open it." But yeah, once they were like collecting location data and they weren't allowing you to turn that off, and they were publicly sharing that with anyone on your friends list, nope.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
I'm gone.
Like someone, I had a friend, he was telling me like where everyone was, and I was like, how do you know this? And he's like, oh, it's on Snapchat. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, like that's crazy.
Horrible.
I mean, I just can't do it. It's a little too much for me.
A couple of things. So, one, when you're messaging someone and they have a like a Bitmoji, whatever, and they're actually like waiting for a response, their Bitmoji will come up and will sit there peeking over whatever the thing, just watching you, and it's like
A little too uncomfortable. For
I'm like, wait a minute, like I don't know why I feel uncomfortable, but yeah.
That's
so
weird.
when someone pops up, like if you're responding to a message and they're not there, it's totally fine. But when they actually see the message that you sent before, like if you send a message and you're typing out another one and they come in and they're like there, and they were waiting for your response, that Bitmoji would just sit there.
I
I'm
don't
like,
like this.
It's weird. So when they send a message, it's like it'll show like animation of their Bitmoji talking, whatever. But second thing is that the map that shows like where you are, and it shows you like your Bitmoji and whatever. But just when you tap anywhere on the map, like in Las Vegas, like bro, it shows like a story of whoever is in that location.
So random users can have their location data so set to public that not just like other followers can see, like people who are not following you or not friends can see something you posted at that location.
So you can share not only to your story where your friends can see, but also to the public of. So I'm gonna pull it up so you can see. Because I'm ghosted on here, so people can't see where I'm at. But if you go to the thing here.
Now I need to check if I change that setting again.
So I'm trying to keep away from the mic because it will buzz a little bit. But if I tap here, it shows like other people's stories because they have the option to. So if I go here, boom, I do that, and I share it to like Snap Map. That's where people can see it. But majority of the time,
yeah, I don't like this. Whoa.
Majority of the time, people will still will have it on there regardless, even if they forget. Like, so if they post something in their story and they accidentally post to the Snap Map, it's there.
You can see where it is. That's so like wild, dude. Like, I think that the majority of people in the world are normal people, like level-headed, can think properly.
Yeah.
But for the ones that are just the craziest people who will stalk someone, who will just try to gather information about someone's life, that is so bizarre to have that as a feature on your app.
Like ASMRs with girls who are bunnies and furries, and that's totally different.
Bunny furry girl ASMRs.
There is, let me tell you the weirdest ASMR that I've found.
There's a lot of
there is ASMR. You broke into my ninja school and I found you ASMRs.
What does it even sound like? I don't want to know what that sounds like, but are there just like whole universes being built off of ASMR?
I hate the fact that I can describe that video to you. I have the capacity in me to describe that video.
When he was showing the Dark Souls thing, like people actually role play stuff.
Whoa.
Like legitimately.
Yeah.
Like some people have like really good, like acting and whatnot, but there's some people that will have just the audio and will, and whatnot, and will describe a whole thing. And
there's haircut ones where like it's like you getting a haircut, so they take scissors and they like snip around each ear and like make a whole experience.
No, thank you.
I mean,
I'm not down for that.
I actually listen to stuff like that sometimes, just because. But
let me introduce you to something. Brown noise. Have you ever listened to brown noise?
Brown.
It's not like white noise. So white noise is a different frequency.
Brown noise is what I
right.
call living at my house would be.
Oh my god.
With all of my brown siblings and I.
I'm disappointed.
Don't be. I'm gonna go to my mom's house next week and be like, "What's all the brown noise going on in here?" She's gonna hit me with a chancla, but.
Don't you dare.
I'm gonna do it so I can have a story to tell.
Disrespectful.
To who? My mom?
What's all this brown noise up in here? Oh my god.
Well, no, brown noise is at a lower frequency. It's like the sound that you would hear like when you're in an airplane of the wind outside. And it is the best thing to sleep to.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I
don't
probably
like
have.
podcast listening or any of that or ASMR videos, but brown noise, fantastic.
There is
Sorry.
Stop it.
What is it? I don't know if I talked to you guys about it before, but like there's kind of like this lo-fi ASMR kind of where it has the rain and a little bit of wind or whatever, but it has like 1950s like music in the background, but like in another room, so it sounds like it's in another room with a little bit of rain and stuff. I love
So
it.
it sounds like you're playing BioShock. That's what you're
A
talking
little bit, yeah.
about.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that really, like, if I'm like restless and I really need some sleep, like I'll put that on and I'll just like,
You
and I
guys
have
send
some
that.
like eye blinders too, whatever. Just,
Eye blinders. That's cool.
That is cool.
so there, ASMR. There's so many different things in ASMR. Talk about rabbit hole.
Is that what it's called with like the furry bunny girls, the rabbit hole?
You know what? It's probably there. I'm pretty sure someone has made something for just for that.
You know what's wrong with me is I know I'm making this like really weird. I just want to look for it to see if it exists. I don't want to experience it, but this is part of me like I should see if this exists so I can actively hate it.
Yo,
So,
what's that?
Yo, this is weird.
Oh, the rabbit hole thing?
Yeah, the rabbit hole thing,
Oh,
like
gotcha.
ASMR bunny girls. I don't know. I think I'd be really disturbed.
Well, it's just mostly like what we were talking about before. The women that can profit off of that, they'll
ahead.
just do it just because. And then
Go ahead,
all of a
girl.
sudden they're into it too. So they're like, oh, this is great. So now you can see like they're all supporting each other's like channels. Like, oh my gosh, like it's so weird. It's so weird.
Okay,
And-
so
yeah.
here I got a title for you for a video. Stray bunny girl wants you, female for male, silly and sweet, compliments wholesome ASMR.
Wholesome.
And that's on YouTube, everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate it.
Mischievous bunny girl tries seducing you. Enemies to lovers. Monster girl ASMR roleplay.
Wait, monster what?
Monster girl ASMR roleplay.
Is that how you-
Also on YouTube, everybody.
Wholesome.
So if you're a child under the age of 18 watching this, go ahead and search for Bunny Girl Senpai ASMR Rain
It's-
ASMR.
It
It's
rained.
dangerous. It
Use
is
headphones
dangerous.
for better experience.
I love kink shaming people, so I'm down to just make you all feel bad.
There are some people that just love the sound of mouth movements and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
And it's just
the case.
like that's
You hate that thing.
too far.
You hate that stuff. You hate when people chew really loudly.
On
Me.
ASMR, I don't care if it happens in front of me. In ASMR, something about it, like I think there's like this ASMR person who does like the seafood, like
Yeah.
gumbo or whatever. Like
I
gumbo's
know
great,
who
but
you- I know who you're talking
Oh.
about.
and that whole slurping and like the crab in the mouth, like
She does a lot.
bro, like
She won the red lipstick. Like
I think so. Listen, I don't.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. It disturbs me. Like this is
Yeah.
how you make me Hulk out for no reason. Like
Ooh, speaking of hulking out, you see episode 3 yet?
I have not. It's
No.
today's Thursday. It just came out.
I know.
I was busy today.
Yeah.
Trying to recover
I have
from my
things to
physical-
do.
I
Trying to
wasn't.
recover from physical
I
therapy.
edited our last episode of the podcast, and I watched She-Hulk, and I cleaned the entire house. That's what I did
Hey.
today.
Wow. Wow.
Love that for you. I wish I had that energy.
But you're
Um,
incapacitated too, so you just
That is true. Picking
And-
up things would be like just putting a knife on the end of your crutch.
No, I can grab them. I could just like
Oh yeah, you just grab with them. Yeah.
no. Yeah, I'm kind of useless right now. I had my roommate bring down the vacuum and like our upstairs mop downstairs, so I could feel like I'm helping in the house, and I've done nothing but just make it worse.
Did you say upstairs mop?
Yeah, I say upstairs mop because that's the only place I've ever seen it.
Oh.
I'm sure it's like the whole house mop. It's a Swiffer, but
I was gonna say, who has an upstairs mop and a
It's
downstairs?
like I know this
That's
place
like-
is not
Well,
that big
when
to
you-
have
when you
two
live in the
mops
mansion
for
that I
both
do.
floors.
Yes, you live the extravagant life that you do.
I used to live in a mansion. Now I don't. But no, yeah. Let's get back to this original topic of like the internet before like social media.
Yeah,
Forgot
we
about
were.
this.
We were like we're gonna talk about the internet before.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
Snapchat.
internet now.
On to how shitty the
I'm
internet
over here
is
like
now.
2014.
How
Yeah.
corrupt and everything.
Because
Yeah.
it was a vibe before then. I mean, I remember the whole surfing the net thing.
The lawlessness
like,
of
They
it.
talked about it like, yeah, it was the Wild West.
There's
they
no
say.
monetization
It's
on
so
You had
YouTube.
dirty.
LimeWire. You had. I always went to ArmorGames.com. Do you guys
Okay.
remember Armor Games?
Mm-hmm.
To play Flash games.
Is that the one with the logo of the tank?
Yeah.
I did play that.
No,
No.
that's Machinima.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Now you're confusing me.
Of a
'cause I
tank.
I'm pretty sure Armor Games was always like a body of armor, like a shield.
Oh, honestly, I don't know.
Machinima is like the tank coming over the hill.
I think so.
Or, I don't know. I'm
Man, if
confused.
that's an inappropriate website, I just outed myself. So. oops.
Machinima?
Yeah, I don't know.
It can be. Not that I know anything about that.
No, that's not the inappropriate website.
Mm.
Anyways, the internet was lawless to
Yes.
10-year-old savvy.
It's a crazy place
I know.
before then. But video, like, I remember watching videos on albinoblacksheep.com. You guys know that website?
No.
albinoblacksheep.com. This is a deep.
Albino.
I don't feel like it's that deep of a dive, but yeah, it's what I used to like watch videos on. It was just a video website where people would post weird ass videos that they made and animations and like I just remember like there's like a it's like the Duck song. You guys know the Duck song?
He waddled away,
Waddle,
waddle.
waddle,
Hey,
yeah.
got any grapes?
Yeah, do you know that song?
No.
No.
Bro.
It was like that type of content on there, and you
No,
could find
yeah.
anything from like there was like the maze game on there that people used to play, where they'd like you'd have to like focus on putting the mouse cursor through the maze, and it would get more and more difficult. And when there was like a part of the maze where it was like a wide hallway, and it would shrink to a really tiny hallway. So when you're like trying to like you're getting closer and closer to the screen, trying to like do it, and then there's a jump scare that happens, and it scares the crap out of you.
Oh wait, no. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where they like get really close, or like they'd be like, oh, you
It
have
like
to like.
has you focus on something specific.
Bro,
yeah.
that stuff would make me scream.
Yeah.
Scared.
Nope.
Scared.
Nope, not me.
55. You guys know that video?
no.
55.
55. No.
Yeah. I forget who. There's like a stick figure animation videos where just really weird stuff. The Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. You guys remember that?
That sounds familiar. Holy cow.
Yeah, this is the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Good guys, bad guys, and explosions.
I don't think I'll know a
Triggering
lot
a
of
memory,
this.
and it's like the file is still uploading.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember like 10 minutes into this. I like that kind of also was when the MySpace era was good. I mean, like if you're a musician and you're actively using MySpace, by all means, it is good for you. But like,
Spotify.
but like I remember like I talked about it like a couple episodes ago about like how like I could HTML like my glitter words and all that and like having my top like, but that was like a very interesting time. Or
Man,
like
I wish.
I used to like do like because you know like on MySpace you could like post your little blog of like your thoughts and stuff. I would always post like funny jokes that I thought were hilarious. So just be like long anecdotal like jokes that was like I definitely like boomer humor. I don't know. I was a weird like 13-year-old. But like yeah. But it's just like that was like a time like or you just like go into different people's like MySpace page. Like I'm on my best friend's page. I'm on my dog's page. I'm on like this random person's page. Like.
Yeah, you would hear in the second you click on their profile, you'd hear the whatever music they wanted to like have playing.
Oh yeah.
Would pop up.
Some Linkin Park.
It was way more personalized. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be literally anything, and then you'd have your own background that you could pick, fonts and text colors, and you could change.
Have you guys
anything.
seen that trend lately? If shows, like shows now, if they ended back in like 2007, like everybody, it's a trend that's been on Twitter, I think. But it's just all been like Linkin Park, What I've Done, like at the end of like every movie, every show. If this show ended in 2007, it'd just be like what I, and then, dude, screen goes black with Michael Bay as the bro. I'm loving that trend right now. I'm like
That's
seeing the different.
amazing.
I'm like, dude, this. And the song was great too.
Every college like level like movie or whatever would end with All American Rejects.
Yeah.
So. Oh,
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
was it Move Along?
Yes.
Yeah.
Move along, and then it's like some guy like running to the girl because he realized he's an idiot and stuff, and she's like, "What?" And then they like make up because you know they love each other and they don't need therapy, but
Yeah.
The first time I heard about, or I heard a song by All American Rejects, Move Along, I think it was on a Bionicle commercial.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Holy cow! Yes.
And I was like, oh, this song is great. Because it was all animated nicely. And like the way that they had like 6 or 7 like jumping like Bionicle, and at the end it was like that song. I was like, oh, this is freaking amazing. I want a Bionicle right now. It was great. But they also had it was a song by Kelly Clarkson. It was like Brown Eye or Blue Eye, something. It was the strangest thing. I'm like, this song is about like a love story, yet it's put on a Bionicle commercial. I'm like,
wild.
this is different.
I never got into the Bionicle scene.
I was Legos, but I loved Bionicles. My parents refused to buy Bionicles because they're like, there's just Legos with extra parts. Buy a Barbie.
Bitch.
My mom trying to make me the little girl that she always wanted. Did not work, Sarah.
Why was the accent there? There was
The
like little.
accent?
There's like, yeah, buy a Barbie.
I don't know, man.
Who was it?
My mom.
Your mom has like a
Actually, one of my aunts has a very country accent, and it's very odd because I'm like, you are a straight brown woman, but go ahead, Ruth.
God damn it, Bobby.
Listen, I don't remember most of the adults in my life from childhood. I just know they all sounded like the teacher from the Peanuts. So I did not listen well. God damn it, Sophie. Anyways. That's my mom's voice now forever. I can never change it.
Nope, any story that you have with your mom, you gotta tell it that way.
oh crap.
That's
Sarah
amazing.
Hill. Actually, my mom has a very like non-Hispanic name. Her name is Sarah Ann.
I never would guess that she was.
I would never guess. I never met your mom.
No, my mom looks straight brown lady.
Sarah Ann.
Sarah Ann.
Hey, look at this. Albino Black Sheep still exists as a website.
Oh wow. Moving on. Moving on.
Yeah.
Long. Yeah, Ultimate Showdown, Ultimate Destiny is on here.
You know,
Bro,
I
so
really
This is just all new
enjoyed
stuff.
on the internet when people would make gosh, I can't remember, the name is slipping me, but like when they would take like anime like scenes and then they'd put like Linkin Park over it or something. Do you remember like the Naruto
yeah,
one, the
yeah.
fight?
Yeah,
I would
that's
watch
so-
that every
oh my
weekend.
God.
That's when I was getting into like.
That was
internet.
prime YouTube.
That was
Yeah.
would have. That's a good. I see where you're trying to go. Yeah, you're talking about the music videos. It was AMVs,
That's what
anime
they are.
music videos.
Yes,
Yeah,
AMVs.
yeah,
That
AMVs.
that for me was like the peak of like YouTube.
I think that's what inspired me to like if I ever got into animation, all that kind of stuff, I would totally do that. Like anytime I think of or I hear some music or I see a music video, I'm like, oh, that would have been great like this way. And I'm like, all the AMVs, they're just so excellent, like so done eloquently. Like it's
So
beautiful.
The Sasuke Naruto fight AMV, I promise you, is the most iconic one of my life. Like, that was it for me. That like merged my two worlds, and I was like, yes.
So while y'all fucking nerds were watching Naruto AMVs, the real kings of gaming were watching RuneScape AMVs.
Nerd.
Watching fucking
Nerd.
Disturbed on top of RuneScape gameplay.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my land, that's amazing. I just want to make an AMV of something today. Actually, TikTokers are doing that now. Like, if the Zoomers are good for something, it's recycling the good times that I remember and making them worse. But they've been doing AMVs recently on like TikTok because they're like popping up on my For You page, and I'm like here for it.
I've seen some high quality like 4K like AMVs.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen some on my
dude.
Twitter.
I'm like, yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, like I support this. I fully support this.
They start with like turn your phone sideways,
Oh yeah,
and then
Dang.
yeah, they go for it.
I'm
They're
here
great.
for it.
Takes you on a trip. You're like, oh my gosh.
suddenly like
Yeah.
13 again, like in my room, like on the computer. Well, in the family room for the computer.
To be honest, I was more of an outside kid, so I wasn't allowed to be on the computer that much. But when I did, I played a lot of like the Cartoon Network, like games that they had on the website, in Nickelodeon as well. But um, when I was able to like use the computer more, like that's what I stumbled upon was those like AMVs, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
it's freaking amazing. But I mean, when I actually had the chance to go on the internet, without being supervised and all that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure this website is gone now. But it was like one of the most traumatic things ever. Because I don't even know like how or what is going on. So I'm playing this game off of Cartoon Network. I think it's like Kids Next Door or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I was trying to search something up, and I see this ad that was just talking about like this workout equipment, but it had this lady on there. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just click on it and see what happens.
Ooh.
Was not workout equipment.
What was it? What website was it?
Use your words,
This-
Mikey.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm like,
Relive.
I'm so glad that I was home alone when it happened. Because
Oh, Mikey.
my God, yeah.
Did you get
so-
goat seed? Was that what you're?
No. But I was with a friend that got goatsy once. Yeah, but I clicked on it, and it was loading, and I was like, okay, cool, and it showed like a workout bench and everything, all this kind of stuff, and it was like, click here, whatever. I was like, yeah, I didn't want to see that, whatever. But I clicked on it anyways, and it was toys and everything, like
It would be
toys
descriptive.
for adult toys, and they were getting
adult
to
size
work.
swings.
Yes,
Like
it was all
tires.
kinds of. Wait, what? You said tires?
Like a tire swing?
swings, or like a board that you put in between two pieces of rope.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a lot, and I was like, oh no, and like I'm trying to turn like the speakers down and everything. I'm like, so yeah.
Poor Mikey. This dude was trying to be like number one, and he ended up having trauma.
Yep. And so that is when I started to learn, or I wanted to learn how to delete history and all that kind of stuff.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Wow.
So, but that did bring up curiosity that later yeah. Yeah.
To do other things on the internet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh. So when I got older and I realized, I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is very bad. Yeah. So just be careful. But I realize it's just there's so much more now that kids can stumble upon. It's scary.
I feel like you have to I feel like the internet's gotten a little like more closely knit as far as I don't feel like there's anyone who can click a link to an ad and it take them to some porn site or something like that. Like
Yeah.
anymore, at least anymore. Like it used to be that way.
Yeah.
It used to. For anyone who's not familiar with being goat seed, like was talked about earlier, look it up. Google it. And then come back here.
Come back here.
I'm gonna get on my private IP.
We'll wait for you to do that real quick.
We'll wait a solid 5 seconds here for you to.
We'll just take a moment of silence just for you to do that real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Now that you're scarred for life.
Yikes. I miss. Actually, I don't really miss it because it still happens. I like getting rickrolled. It's the most frustrating thing that I enjoy happening to me.
He redid that video, right?
He redid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just recently. he
Oh
did.
man, he's aged, but good for him.
Yeah, he plays off of that a lot.
Hey man, if that's what's gonna make your money, I'm all for you people making money as long as it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
100%. Like, cash in while you're relevant. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been rickrolled, but also scared to death. Have you guys seen that video of that car driving off to the distance and then that thing popping up out of nowhere?
The zombie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then rickroll just so like I'm like,
You're like crying.
I don't know if you've seen that video or that gif of that kid like getting scared like
Yeah.
and just start crying. Like
Yeah.
I was close to that. I was like,
The trend I like on TikTok is the one where it's like a video of like a spider that jumps at you or whatever. She like jumps right at the camera, or a baseball that's gonna hit the camera. And someone will pause it right before that, and they'll be like, they'll catch it for you.
I like those.
There's just such an evolution to the art of like internet memeing. The
Yeah.
There's one that always gets me, and you guys are gonna just be sad at me, but there's always like these weird ones that like pop
Too
up.
late.
My TikTok is odd, and there's always these ones, and I should know better, where it's like, oh, this character ends up naked in this scene, and I'm like, what? They would draw them naked? Let me click it, and then someone's like, you dirty idiot! Why would you click that? This is a cartoon character. And I'm over here like, I don't care about cartoons in that aspect, but I'm like, I just wanted to know if they did it or not. And I'm over here being shamed by the TikTok. But my TikTok knows me well enough to where they're like, I'm going to shame you because you wouldn't watch that, but I'm going to shame you. Like, whatever the algorithm says, like.
Dirty bastard.
Like, they
There's
know
also
me.
the thirst traps where there's like girls in, you know.
I've gotten like
whatever,
a couple of
revealing
those,
clothing, and then it'll cut to like a guy dressed as Jesus, and he's like, "Hey, what you looking at?"
Yeah, I like those ones. Those crack me up.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I'm always getting caught.
I saw one where it's like Jesus, but he kind of looked like the Joker. He's just like, why so curious? I'm like,
I'm just dumb. I want to know.
There's one too. There's one that that cracked me up. It's when Stray came out, and there was a girl who's like, just trying to do a thirst trap, and she's like, hey, like whatever, we come home with me tonight or whatever, and then it cuts to the guy. He's like, no, thank you. I have a game to play about a kitty cat.
I think I've seen that one.
That's pretty good.
I like those ones.
It's the way that people just think of.
I
Yeah.
love the evolution
Yeah.
of the internet. Like, and then there's just like some good ones that come back like every once in a while. Like, definitely Rickroll is not going anywhere. Like Space Jam had like a comeback. Like, do you guys remember the Space Jam website where it
Yeah.
like mix the "Come On" and "Slam" with
Yeah.
other modern songs?
If you don't, I remember the URL. It's come on and sl.am.
Yeah, didn't we put that on someone's computer at work once? On like loop.
Yes.
We did. Yeah. It's like one of the
terrible.
not bosses.
Yeah, we did that. I've gone on to do crazier things. I made
Menace
Sam's.
to society.
I made Sam's. Maybe we shouldn't name names, but I made Sam's. It's already been. I've already doxed him.
It's out there.
It's not happening.
Yep.
I made his iPad whenever he plugged it in say like, yeah, yes, plug me in, daddy,
Oh my gosh.
or something like that. And then
What?
whenever you unplug it, it said like, said like, no, fill me up or something stupid. Like,
Man, that's really good.
yeah.
You're terrible.
I was gonna leave. Well, I see. The terrible thing would have been if I left it there for him to discover of his own free will, which I should have done. However, I was like, "Hey, don't you need to plug your laptop in? Isn't it dying?" And he went, "No." And then he just plugged it in anyway.
You know, I just saw his iPad in the other room.
Is it in there right now?
It's still here.
I should do
Wait,
it
is that
again.
is the big one?
Yeah.
100%, I'm doing that. You can do it with MacBooks. You can do it with anything Apple, because Apple products are garbage. I'm not gonna wage this war right now. We'll get into that later.
I think they are both.
That'll be a different
swell.
episode.
Let's talk about it. Like,
No, this is about the internet before times.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
guys remember? This is like YouTube era, but do you remember Charlie the Unicorn?
Yes.
I love that one.
Charlie the Unicorn is great.
Those guys, I didn't realize it
Come
until
on,
recently,
Charlie.
but they were like just two dudes in the military, supposedly.
Huh.
And they're just still doing their military thing, doing their little Charlie the Unicorn voices. Love them.
It's so great to see how people like the evolution of those who started making like videos in that time, and they're still making videos. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad, or they're not making videos anymore. Like,
Yeah.
what is a Smosh? Smosh is still making videos.
Smosh
I mean,
used to
it's
make
a
videos.
whole
They're a
new
whole different thing now.
So it's
but
not
yeah.
the two guys anymore. It's not
yeah.
One of them's still there, Ian.
Yeah, Ian, he is, but it's like it's more of a company now, which actually makes sense because they always had like their Smosh.com. Like there would always be someone writing on it or like posting, but they were always like Anthony and Ian were always like the two like videos, and then Anthony's doing his own thing now. Good for him, and like Ian's still there. Like, but I actually really like the Smosh crew right now. I love Keith Leak.
They do the
Yeah.
He's the homie. He's actually not my friend IRL, but I would love for him to be the homie IRL. Hit me up.
Don't they do the that game where like they're all hiding off to the side and someone has to sit on a stool and they fill their
Oh yeah, try not to laugh.
It is a try. I guess that is just. I'm very complicatedly trying to explain a try not to laugh challenge.
He's a funny host.
And those are great. Those get me sometimes.
I liked watching the game show they did, where Ian was hosting it, and they would have like all the creators, like just like a cycle of creators going through.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was really good.
Okay, I think that's a different one.
Right? I can't remember the name of it, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Huh.
I which is funny because when I actually started watching more Smosh, like 2018, 2019,
Okay, yeah.
and one of the cast members, or let's say, cast members. I think it's Courtney.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
She does the ooh. I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. She was like, ooh. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mike is in love.
Not really.
Hit him up.
But Courtney, whenever I come out to California, if you're trying to hang out,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, that's really the only reason that we're trying to start a podcast right now. You see, I'm married. Savannah is also married. Our
Allegedly.
dear friend here, Michael, is just the saddest, poor little single boy in the
I got
whole
no
wide
hopes.
world.
Are you pimping out Michael right now?
I got no hopes.
So
apparently.
please,
Got hoes.
yeah, guys,
The
you're bitches.
Amount of people in the pat.
It's a song, okay? It's a song I'm referencing called "Walk Around" by Ron something. I'll
Yeah,
find out.
that's the song I was
Ronald
Swanson. referencing, but
So don't come at me. I'm not calling women bitches, okay?
Just me.
I'm leaving that for the Jordan Petersons of the world.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It is called "Walk Around" by Double Aaron and Jay Dillon.
Double Aaron, not Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know. It's double.
Are you saying
Space.
double A or is it like
No,
actual
no, no,
the word
no.
double?
It's the word double space A dash Ron.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm so sorry to the artist for like going after Zach like that. Double Aaron. Aaron.
That's
Yeah,
default.
that is funny because if it was written out Aaron, I probably would have pronounced it that way. But
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But we were talking about, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go off of that. But well, one thing I want to bring this up because I feel like now people are gonna look her up and gonna be like, oh, she's white. I just want to clarify this because I know some people are gonna bring this up. I've dated a lot of white women. Okay. I just want to put this out there. I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Just for like 2 minutes.
setting the record straight.
I just want to set the record straight here.
Yeah.
Just because of my location and where I'm at, I didn't feel the need to go looking elsewhere for to date, and so a lot of women around me were white, and so those were my options, and I dated a lot of white women.
Why does it sound like you're trying to like
justify the fact that you like white women.
no one would have known beforehand except for like that handful of white women you've dated. You could've-
Apparently, there's been a lot more. You know, because like a lot of people in our community.
There was a period in my life actually. Michael ruined it. Every time I'd have a girlfriend, I'm just kidding. You didn't ruin anything. Every time I'd have like a friend girl, they would be like, "I really like Michael," and just like after the second friend who did that to me, I was like, "You can't be my friend anymore. I don't want to hear about this bull." Because as my friend Mikey, like, I love him and I don't want to have my friends crying to me about whatever their relationship or like Michael not acknowledging problems were. So it's like, I can't have women friend right now because Michael is in my life.
Wait, really?
Yes, dude. Every time. Like, I've lived with 3 of them. And it'd be like, Mikey this, Mikey that. I'm like, this is the 3rd time I've heard this in a different font from another woman. And I was like, literally, I was like, I'm tired of you hoes ruining my life. Like, you probably didn't notice this, but I just straight up stopped talking to you because I didn't, like, I was just overloaded with you at home because of these, like, roommates at different times of my life. And it's, like, hard to not be biased because I'm that friend to my girlfriends where I'm like, you're right, he is trash, like, whatever they need from me. And I'm like, I don't think Michael's trash. I can't be that for you.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So every time I have a girlfriend, a friend who is a woman, I'm just like, do you like Mikey? Thankfully now, like, I'm just friends with like a lot older women, so if they do, that's gross, but you know.
Sick. Yeah.
Unless you want a cougar, then I've got a few on the list.
You
want some
well, thank you guys
older?
for hanging out with us here.
Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to rant about how much I hate you.
I didn't know.
No,
I
it was
didn't know.
it was such a weird time. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Like, different women, same font, really weird.
Oh man.
Wow.
I'm not friends with any of them anymore. I've chosen you.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
You
Appreciate
do
that.
stand
Thank
above
you.
the rest. That is
Because Mikey is not problematic. I'm just throwing that out there. I want the non-problematic friends, the low energy ones.
yeah, the low maintenance friends, the ones you can shoot a text to every now and then.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
You need some low maintenance friends because after a while, like I know there's some people who are extra and it's great. It's great. They bring life to a party, especially once we're extroverted. Zach is shaking his head. No, no, that's false.
No.
Agree to disagree. It's okay. But I mean, honestly, like I know for me, like there's some people who are really extra, and I'm like, okay, I can only be around like for a certain amount of time. After a while, you need to chill, or I'm gonna leave. Actually, I'm gonna leave. But the thing is that you know they bring a good element to a friend group, especially like really extroverted kind of people. So I don't know. You know, you just
Yeah.
I have
Maybe.
like friends, a lot of friends. I tend to get adopted a lot by extroverts.
That's the worst.
Like I like
just
to
don't
show
talk
up
to
to things.
people.
I like to show up to things and experience, and I'm fine with being like the wallflower or just like sitting on a couch. And then whoever is like the highest ranking extrovert of the room will decide I need to be adopted. And I'm not really great at you know stopping people.
like they're gonna take you around the room and
Like, have you met Savvy? Like, this is my friend Savvy. And
oh,
I've-
don't do
I-
that.
like,
Don't do
I've-
that
That's
to
the
me.
worst.
I've like met everybody there. Like, just I'm deliberately like fine with just showing up and not talking to people.
Yeah.
Unless you're like one of my friends that I actually enjoy. And keyword that I actually enjoy.
There you go. You have friends you don't enjoy.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you name them by first and last name?
I can give you their social security numbers.
Okay, great.
Those are the ones I keep tabs on, so I know to exit the area if they like show up.
There you go. Now you're keeping their Snapchat location.
Yes.
Available.
Sorry, but there are some people that I've come to find that I actually do that with. And I'm like, even if I told them the truth, like, hey, I don't want to talk right now. I don't want to get into it. I know that they will hit me up later. Like, why do you hate me? Like, I don't hate you. You're much.
Can you name them by first and last name?
And social security number. I had a roommate once upon a time who would go out of town because she wasn't from here. She'd go out of town, like back home, and she would confront me, why do you hate me? And I'm like, I haven't seen you for 2 days. What do you mean? And like I just don't, like at home, like I don't want to exist amongst people. Like, I just want to be a ghost in my own house, you know? And so I don't think this roommate could understand that, like, we didn't have to be best friends. 'Cause there was, like, she was a little bit younger than me too, and it just was like, it was very exhausting having to explain, I don't have anything against you. I just have nothing to give because we're at home and I'm recharging.
Yeah.
But like, it was very interesting until finally I just stopped responding to her messages because she just inevitably made me not like or want to be around her. So then she made her theory true. But I hope she's thriving wherever she's at.
Yeah.
She just stopped coming home.
She was still paying rent, but she
disappeared.
Yeah, straight up, dude.
To this day, she still pays rent.
She still messaged me. No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't. We stopped talking.
There are some people that have asked me, like, hey, like, whenever, like, we want to move out, let's move out together.
No.
And I'm like, no. I like, if there was a person that I would live with, it would be with you. I'm like, oh, it wouldn't be with you. I'll tell you that much. Like, like you, I like to go home and just, I wouldn't say a word. Like, not all day.
And that's completely okay.
Yeah. I would sit in silence. Like, I would, if we're in a car and we're driving somewhere and there's no music and we're just sitting in silence, I'm okay with that.
I do enjoy the people that I can spend time with and not say anything with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those friends, like, come over, sit down with me, and, like, we're doing separate things together. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Your thoughts
on friendships?
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to actually maintain my friendships
lately.
Like, I've been trying to upkeep. Obviously, with you guys, we are forced to talk, a couple times a week. But besides podcast stuff, I've been actually trying to, like, do that. I know that now that I'm getting sucked into Final Fantasy 14, Mikey, you should play with me, because
it's going to be in all the episodes.
Yeah, it is.
Until it actually happens.
Until you play it.
I'm not playing it.
Until the title of the stream is Michael finally plays Final Fantasy 14, the critically acclaimed MMORPG with 150 hours of gameplay.
Critically acclaimed. Oh, crap. Yeah.
But no, I've been trying to. I've called some people who I haven't talked to in a while, and I've actually tried to message people first rather than being. I'm a reactive friend. If you want to talk to me, you can text me.
I get that.
But I don't ever like try to reach out to anyone. So I've been more so trying to do that and keep up with people. Hey, how are you? The pleasantries, and actually like
the pleasantries.
It leads into conversation always leads into more and more, and then it's like how's work and this and that and the other, and then I get to tell them that I'm unemployed and I run a podcast with 3 friends, with 2 friends.
Yeah.
Who's the third friend? I do consider.
You don't see right there.
Wait, what?
And on that note, all right, go ahead and close this out, third friend.
but before we end, question for you guys. Has there been a situation to where, like, when you talk about pleasantries and all that, where it's not like you don't care about the person, but you just don't care about talking about all that stuff? You're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Cool. And, it just can just be whatever. It can be, it doesn't have to be, like, specific or detailed or intentional in a certain way. It could just be like blah 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 and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about like specific people. I guess depending on the relationship that you have with the person, like the way I strike up conversation with my mom is not the same type of way that I would strike up conversation with someone online or via like stream chat or via text or like a friend. If it's someone that I don't know, I will actively go out of my way to not talk to them whatsoever. Like, especially in the height of COVID, like I was walking into places like helping my wife take the kids up for church. I'd walk in and some guy was like, "Hey, hi, how are you?" Reach his hand out to shake my hand, and I literally just stared at him in the face until he stopped trying to shake my hand, and then I walked away from him.
Poor mystery guy.
And I don't know who he was. I haven't
name
seen
his
him
name?
around. Don't know his name.
Mm.
Some white guy. I don't know. It's really my only descriptor. Some white guy. He had a polo shirt on, shorts, very dad looking. You do not know who I'm talking about. There's no way.
I have a couple of people.
Was he
but
really tall?
I mean, he was like around my height. Yeah, brown hair. How much more descriptive do I want to be?
What-
Oh,
what's
I'm gonna
the-
pull up a picture of who this person
You
is.
should pull up a picture. But yeah, that person I definitely don't think I'm gonna have a relationship with. There's other people specifically who I don't like. I get weird vibes from. So
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
go out of my way to like. I walked in to pick Sage up, my daughter from church, on a Sunday because she was freaking out. So I drove back here.
Mhm.
Walked in to pick her up. As I walked in, that guy who I don't particularly like, he was like, "Oh, hey, good morning." I just walked right past him. And then when I left, he said, "Hey, have a good day." And I just walked right past him. So there's certain people who I don't have any specific intention of having pleasantries with or getting to know them on a namely basis.
So
Don't care.
In a way, like pretend like they're not there, or
Yeah, not pretend that they aren't there. I'll just like actively go out of my way to keep my kids away from this person, or like.
If it's who I think it is, you're so mean.
I look. I want to know who you thinking.
Well, you can talk about. Oh, you have a picture. We're obviously not going to share this picture.
Yeah, we're not gonna share the details. It's not.
Who
At the beginning
you
of this
think.
video, this person he described him to it was to a T.
Oh no, much older.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dad.
Oh,
like,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't
that other
thinking.
guy, but
So was that guy?
what?
That
Oh,
guy
I
was
wasn't.
dead?
I
No, he's
wasn't
not.
thinking. I wasn't thinking about
Oh.
that person. I had another person in mind, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can talk logistics
Yeah,
after
we're-
this. But yeah, there's people in my life that I don't go out of my way. There's other people who I will, and it's more like, oh, hey, what's up? How are you? And then we get into like the nitty gritty of the actual
Mhm.
conversation.
There,
yeah.
there was a period in my life where Zach and I would see each other like once every 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe like once like every 2 months or something. And every time he would
It
see
felt
me,
like I hadn't seen you for like 3 years, though.
bro, seriously,
honestly.
COVID was a wild 10 years.
Yeah.
And so like I would see Zach and he'd go like, "Hey, fuck you. Why are you still here?" And I'm moving. I'll be leaving Vegas, and for some reason he just assumed like that I had left like a couple years ago already.
Yeah.
He's like, "I thought you moved," and like just the friendship I have with Zach, I'd be like, "No, dude, I'm still here. Fuck you too."
Oh my.
But it is just it's so funny. Like
That is true. That is how I initiated conversation.
I know
for
you
a
finally
while.
stopped doing that to me. I think like 4 hangouts ago.
I started. Well, it's because before that whole scenario where I thought you moved, because you gotten married since the last time I talked to you. Like I thought
Allegedly.
you'd be living somewhere else now,
Mm-hmm.
and like we had talked about starting a podcast, which has turned into this podcast
Yes.
between the both of us.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I had been thinking about it recently, and I don't know, just it was like a stars aligned situation. It was I had seen you at a party, and then we chatted, and then Mikey happened to be there, and I was like, I really feel like the three of us have a really good chemistry.
Ooh, woo.
And I specifically, being this changed whole person that's not superbly introverted like I used to be and not talk to anyone, I have gone out of my way to make sure that we gather with the appropriate information
This is true. It's very true.
to make
he's grown
this
a lot.
happen. So,
really proud of you.
Yeah.
Really great.
yeah, thanks.
I'm really glad that you've grown up a bit.
I try,
I don't know.
After 2 kids, you kind of have to grow up.
You sure you could grow down?
That's true. Some people do grow down, and
There are some people who have kids and become a child themselves.
should
and not in the
not.
fun way.
Oh,
Children. have children.
that's traumatic in itself. You're like you marry someone and they just. Ugh.
I have 2 kids instead of the one I birthed. But anyways, yeah, you guys, this was an awesome experience, all of you.
Yeah.
All 2 of you.
Yeah, that was great. Get personal conversations in.
Yeah.
We are Inexperience Points. Thank you for joining us this week. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, I'm Savvy.
I'm Zach.
And I'm These or B. Check you guys later.